Khrushchev smiled contentedly upon hearing the news that China had given up on reclaiming Taiwan and was seeking a diplomatic solution through its attendance at the Bandung Conference. He believed he had finally brought the old curmudgeon, Mao, to heel. With the most troublesome external obstacle gone, it was now time to focus on domestic issues. After co-opting key government leaders and military heads, he forced the aging Premier Malenkov to resign and replaced him with his supporter, Bulganin. Of course, the real power was concentrated in Khrushchev, the first secretary of the Communist Party who led the nation. The collective leadership system, which had been precariously in place for 2 years after Stalin's death, effectively came to an end, and the Khrushchev era began in full swing. In April 1955, dignitaries from 29 Asian and African nations gathered in Bandung, Indonesia. Among them were prominent figures of the Third World, such as Nehru of India, Nasser of Egypt, Sukarno of Indonesia, and Zhou Enlai. At this meeting, Zhou presented the 5 principles of peaceful coexistence, striving to convey that China was by no means a bellicose nation, and that the Chinese people longed for peace and stability. He also sent a gesture towards a peaceful resolution of the Taiwan issue, by mentioning that the Chinese government was open to dialogue with the US, given the amicable relations between the peoples of both countries. After successfully concluding the multilateral conference like the top diplomat he was, Zhou returned home and cautiously suggested to Mao that they cease the bombardment of Kinmen and Matsu Islands. Mao, soothing himself by calling it a strategic retreat for a greater advance, accepted. International opinion also began to turn favorable toward China, which had proven its declared intentions at the Bandung Conference with action. Eisenhower felt a long-standing weight lifted from his chest upon hearing the news of China's halt in bombardment. Dulles believed that Mao's sudden abandonment of the Taiwan reclamation was partly due to America's stern warnings, but also a result of the Soviet Union's passive stance. He suggested that the US take a step closer to the Soviet Union on this occasion to sow discord between China and the Soviet Union, and Eisenhower agreed with a smile.